All right, my setup tells me we're live. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and we are here to laugh at morons, as always. Hope you guys are well. Hope you're having a great day out there. I had a pretty decent day. Spent a large chunk of it not sleeping and wishing I was, but I eventually got a little bit of sleep. Still a little tired, but now I don't get to go to sleep for hours and hours because we have some workmen coming over today to do some stuff. And on the coldest day of the year. It's not the coldest day of the year, but we're moving into. I actually got a freezing warning on my phone from my weather app, and I was like, God bless. I don't want any more freezing because tonight it's supposed to get down to 27 degrees, and yay! Oh, thank you for dropping the links there, Dangerous. Let me get them pinned. There we are. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. So I don't have an overall subject this evening. It's kind of a catch-up show. Hang on just a moment. Sorry, I had to move my mic in with it sitting on my desk. I didn't want you guys to hear. It's kind of a catch-up show from the last several days. The whole "Getting Worse" title on the thumbnail is not just about Jeremy, the quartering there. It's a lot about him. How do you? I just, how do you? But it's about several things. Brian Shapiro and the debate with Rachel Wilson. So much worse than what we saw yesterday with him arguing with Andrew Wilson. He made such a jackass of himself in this debate. We covered a little bit on the impromptu show I did this afternoon. But the stuff about Pragmata, it's still going on. This video games, like making people want to have kids, and all of the childless freaks out there who pretend that they're happy being lonely are like, no, it's, what's wrong with you for wanting kids? You're brainwashed and stupid and probably a predator. And it's just funny to me. And then on top of that, the question of the red blue button is still going on. And oh my God, the people that. So the Birdman responded to me. Let's start on that. The Birdman responded to me because I saw he had responded, and I tweeted a response to that. But then he responds to it, how come even though I've said other stuff, this is the one you focused on? Like, because that's the one I saw, dickhead. I wasn't trying to fucking hide anything. I'm not shy about my opinion. I'm not trying to paint you as something you weren't. It was your fucking quote that I quoted. It made me laugh because apparently I'm supposed to be hanging on his every word and know everything he's ever said ever. And it's kind of an arrogance that like Jeremy shares here. Let's bring Jeremy's picture on the screen. As much as I like looking at Phoebe, let's bring this tard on the screen. There's an arrogance that some creators get because they get just a little bit of attention. And they're like, how dare you? But you think you can talk to me? Do you know who I am? Like, bitch, I saw your channel. Your channel's not that much bigger than mine. Not in the grand scheme of things. Not in the world where some people have hundreds of millions of people who watch their channels. You're just a tiny little fish like me, and believe it or not, my world doesn't revolve around finding out everything you say so I can just come at you, you bitch. But anyway, that's a nice segue into Jeremy, bitch. I want to make this clear. I don't care about his sex life. I don't care if he lets somebody else plow his wife. I really don't. For those of you who are unaware of the story here, the Keno Casino boys accused Jeremy of letting his wife be plowed by another dude. And Jeremy went, nuh-uh, and decided to go on a scorched earth campaign, which he says he didn't do, even though there's actual evidence that he reported something to YouTube, and has been caught lying about that. What I do care about, and I'm fascinated by this, by people like this. Jeremy has, despite all of his clear shortcomings, managed to make a pretty successful career here on YouTube. But that's not enough for him. It was never enough. So he needed to have a coffee company. He needed to have employees who come on and do his live streams, and he had to have a media empire. And bro, you got big by sucking the balls of way bigger creators, saying the right things that they were already saying, just repeating it, and sitting there reading articles that you barely comment on sometimes. You had a cherry gig, bruh. A quote from Scrubs, for those of you who know that. You had a cherry gig. What the fuck did you do? What's up, Jack?
Yeah, how's it going?
Living the dream.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing tonight?
I'm starting to get sick.
Oh.
Yeah, my sinuses are flared up.
Oh, I hope it passes quickly. For the record, guys, I don't know how long tonight is going to go because my throat is bad. When I was doing the game stream earlier tonight, I could hear my voice was off. Oh. And it's a combination of drainage. I don't feel sick, but there is drainage there. And the fact that I've spoke a lot in the last 24 hours. Anyway, we're talking about Jeremy and how he's ruined his career. But back to where I was. So I'm fascinated by these people like him, people like Boogie, these people who have plenty of examples to look at and be like, ooh, I shouldn't do that. Jeremy's not the first person to ruin his career because he got a little offended at something somebody said online.
Yeah.
All you had to do was ignore them. Yes, they were making fun of you. They were saying things about your wife. All you had to do was ignore them. We know you're not a manly man. We saw what happened when a tranny hit you. You cried and sued them. You didn't stand up like a man and whip their ass or anything. You're just like, oh my God, I can't believe you hit me. So nobody's expecting you to be a man about all this and defend your wife. You should have ignored it. Would it be a little uncomfortable for a while? Will people be coming into your comments for a while? Sure. You can ignore them too, and you just keep doing what you were doing. Keep plugging away, and you'd be fine. And instead, you decided to try to flex muscle you don't have. You thought everybody would rally around you, and nobody is. If you had just come out and been like, hey, y'all should leave my wife the fuck out of this, you probably would have had a lot of supporters like, yeah, guys, just leave his fucking wife alone. But as soon as you start attacking, and especially when you start threatening to take people's channels away to get them deplatformed, it doesn't matter what you say after that. Best if we give Jeremy the absolute benefit of the doubt, right? Then he's not responsible for any of the channels going down. It had nothing to do with it. It's all on who clearly was not him, even though there's evidence that he did it. It's somebody else's doing. But you still tried to extort people with that threat. You fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. So kind of told everybody how to do it.
He did. But I'm giving him the absolute benefit of the doubt. I'm being understatement here and going, it's not his fault. Okay? Even though, again, there's actual evidence of him getting a thank you for your report from YouTube.
Yeah.
No, so let's say
doppelganger did it. See, an evil shade.
Let's say in that case, somebody had sent him a video of some child predation and he just reported it, and that's what that was, right? That's not what it was, but let's say, for example, that's what it is. You still tried to blackmail people with this. You still tried to threaten people with taking their channel away so that they would stop being mean to you. And even that isn't the worst thing you could do. This should have died off already. But this dumb motherfucker keeps doing things to drag it out. Like tonight, he agreed to go on Yellow Flash's channel. They were going to have a one-on-one discussion of this. And Yellow Flash invited on Bearing and, what's his name? Camelot.
Yeah.
And both of them said, hey, I'll back out. If he wants it only to be one-on-one, we can back out. And eventually they did. But Jeremy is like, oh, these people can't just have a one-on-one discussion. I'm so done with it. I would show you his actual tweet, but he's already deleted it because
Yeah.
that's who this piece of shit is.
Well, there were a string of them.
Yeah,
And he was
and
also in the chat, by the way, because so was I and so was Scribe.
yep, and they were trying to address him in the chat. I didn't get to see it for very long because I did have the game stream to do.
Oh, if you want clarification, I'll be glad to provide that.
Please do.
Yeah, so Yellow Flash was not actually intending to stream with quartering. He was intending, because his stream apparently got taken down the other day while it was still going, so he didn't get to read some super chats. So he decided to have a short stream where he just read super chats, maybe half an hour, the sort of thing you do when you have a bunch of thank yous to do. That's normal procedure. And Jeremy proposed one-on-one.
Real quick, before you go on, thank you for saying that. I got a donation right as the stream ended earlier. I think it was Keldrick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the donation. I don't have access to that donation right now. But thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jack. You just reminded me.
No, you're fine. So Jeremy apparently proposed that he is going to be on this stream and have it out with Yellow Flash. Then Bering said, well, if you don't mind, I'll come in because I want to address some stuff. And he said that on Twitter.
Which, by the way, the reason Bering said that is Bering did a video about this whole situation, and Jeremy apparently got butthurt over it. He was very nice to Jeremy in this.
Yes, he was a lot nicer than, honestly, I think most people would have been, but they've known each other longer than most people.
Yeah, they're friends.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years they've known each other. So apparently Jeremy didn't like Bering's video and had contacted him, and Bering kind of wanted to address that and talk to him about it. And then they could just have a conversation and everybody else would just shut up, basically.
Pause there for 1 second. Devil Pup says she doesn't know who Yellow Flash is. Yellow Flash made a name for himself in the comic skate thing. He's a name we've occasionally used before. Neither of us, I think, watch him on a regular basis. But who he is isn't real important, but just to answer that question, that's who he is. I'm sorry, Jack.
Yeah, I'm not a big Yellow Flash fan. I think the guy's kind of an asshole, but I haven't watched him in 6 or 7 years, so maybe he's calmed down a little. Who knows? So Bering even said several times, like, I'll be glad to sit out, or he said he was gonna just kind of hang out and leave, and that if Jeremy did show up, he would come back if he was allowed to.
If Jeremy agreed to it. I did see that part of Bering saying it,
Yeah. So Bering was incredibly cordial, as always, because he's a really nice dude. Like, seriously, Bering, you're way too nice sometimes. But I get it. They're friends, Bering wants to be, reasonable with somebody that he's known for a long time, and that's respectable.
In fairness to Bering, Bering's like that with everybody, even people he doesn't like.
Yeah. I mean, shit, he's talked to me before, and I don't know why. So, he was being incredibly nice, as always, and the other guy, I'm not sure why he was there. I know he's done some videos on Jeremy. I think one of his videos might have gotten struck. I'm not positive. I don't know a lot about Camelot, but I didn't really see much of a point in him being there, honestly. I know he did something right afterwards, so they both left, though. Camelot left, Bering left, and then Jeremy's in the chat for the majority of the time. And he kept saying 1v1. He also put out Yellow Flash's name, apparently.
Of course he did, because he's a little shitbag.
Yeah. So, and he wanted him to cam up for some reason, because I don't know what it is about people when they're backed into a corner in an argument. They're immediately like, why don't you show your face? Like, that has any bearing, any pertinence to the situation? Not the Australian bear. Which Australia does not have bears, by the way. They have yowies. Anyway, he's doing that thing where you try and call somebody out. But yeah, apparently he said Yellow Flash's name at some point. And Yeah, he was just kept saying 1v1. Well, I'll just reschedule. Well, you were telling everyone you're going to come on. And then you do this bait and switch thing like a teenage girl. Like, well, now I don't want to because you agreed to it. You know?
Well, in his one tweet, I mean, he makes it sound like people are just afraid of him. And I don't know anybody who's afraid to talk to this idiot.
No, they're
But
not.
the fact that this wasn't I did miss out on the part that Flash was just doing a stream and Jeremy's like, let's talk about it. It only makes it worse because you don't have to do this. You could ignore this. And in a month, nobody will talk about it. Maybe if your name comes up, people make a joke about it or something. Might have a couple of diehards. Those always exist. But
yeah,
for the most part, it goes away and you get to get back to business. And instead, your dumb ass keeps bringing shit up. You're the one who keeps pouring gas on the fire, you moron.
Well, he gets angry, and sometimes there may be some liquid courage involved. And he can't stop himself. And I've seen this with people I know in my real life that once they get some alcohol in them, or they think they have the upper hand because they're control freaks, they start talking shit. And then when somebody's like, yeah, okay, they're like, what?
I'm not saying he's not an alcoholic, but I have not seen enough evidence of the stupid shit he does being because of alcohol to give him that benefit of the doubt there. I think he thinks he's a bigger deal than he is. And he says stupid shit because we've seen this, like when he tried to call out Matt Walsh and he starts an argument with him. And it's not even really a bad argument. It's just like stupid little shit. And he causes a big uproar. And then he's like, why can't we all get along? And there's no evidence that he's drunk when he's doing it all. He's just an asshole who thinks he's going to lead some kind of fucking revolution.
I honestly think it's a combination of the two, because he thinks he's a big man, but most of the time he manages to kind of control himself, but then he drinks a little bit and he starts really talking shit. They did catch him. Kino Casino caught him the other day when he was doing a stream. He was doing a game stream, and he got caught with some of those little fireball water bottles.
Oh yeah, the like hotel bottle ones. Size, yeah,
the samplers, I guess
the mini bar.
Yeah, and he was also apparently mixing some drinks on stream, but they caught him opening, like he was grabbing one of them, and there's a still photo that Andy put on his Twitter page. They found it while they were live, like nobody had caught it before, and they're like, "Wait, is that a fireball?" So yeah, that's I think a contributing factor to his courage element, because
I just think that my internet sucks.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I just cut out there for a second. I think the alcohol excuse just takes a lot of the deserved responsibility from him. Remember, this is a guy who supposedly fired Styx Hexenhammer for his addiction picadillos. And that doesn't mean he can't be an alcoholic himself. But I think pointing to the alcohol gives
incredibly arrogant.
Yeah. I think it has much more to do with that, because Jeremy has not been flagging people's channels down is not a new thing for Jeremy. He's been doing it for a long, long time. And I'll point you to Mikey No More's videos. Check them out. He just put one out about the quartering where he does go over this. I think in that one, it's either in that one or his last one he did. But Jeremy's flagged people for years. He's just gotten away with it. Yeah.
But in this case, people that he doesn't like.
Yeah, that's the part where he made a mistake. He thought he was again bigger than he is, and going after Andy and Fat Boy, and people were not okay with it, because literally it's look, man. Let's talk about what kicked this all off, right? They suggested you let your wife get pounded by somebody else. There's one of two things. Either you did or you didn't. If you did, why do you care that people are laughing about it? They can't prove it for real, and you're okay with it. So why are you not okay with them pointing out that you're okay with it? If you didn't let it happen, you know you didn't let it happen. So why are you so pissed off about it? People have said far worse about you than you let your wife get plowed, dude. How did you suddenly turn into Jack Murphy in this bitch? Nobody thinks you're the alpha male.
Well,
I
he was one of the people that helped bring Jack Murphy down. So I think that's part of it. Is he doesn't want that happening to him because his ego won't allow it.
But there's no reason to address it. You should have done the Phil DeFranco thing here. DeFranco, whatever you think about the guy, he's kept his career largely by ignoring every ounce of criticism directed towards him. He just
which is a lot because that guy's boring as fuck.
He ignores it and just keeps plugging ahead. It doesn't matter what happened, what he said, how wrong he is. He just keeps doing his thing, keeps his head down and keeps plugging away. And you were like, I'm for the first time in my life going to be manly. I'm just going to be honest with you, Jeremy. The least surprising thing I've heard about you is that you let your wife get plowed. I just kind of expected that.
Jesus.
Look at him. He looks like the guy who's sitting in the corner going, bet that feels good. And not only would I believe that you're a cuck, I believe that you're probably one of those guys who likes to be degraded while you're being cucked. Not that I've ever seen that.
Oh no, I sent you that one picture.
Fuck, man. Some people are weird. Anyway,
yeah.
Fucking weird out there. I am vanilla as vanilla gets, and goddamn.
Yeah, I used to be a bit of a pervert. Now I'm like tame by today's standards. So the times they are changing. One of his problems though is that the casino guys really didn't go after his wife. They were going at him. They were making fun of him. And they said several times how bad they feel for his wife. Because she's married to this guy. And of course, the jokes about Skyrone and the Jewish bull were just that. They're jokes. Jeremy's the one that brings his wife up all the time and says the weirdest shit about her. Like how he pooped himself at Walmart and his wife was there for that. He mentions his wife a lot on these streams.
I don't have a problem with him mentioning his wife, and it's a generic wife if we're being real here. Nobody's digging really deep into her, and nobody should, by the way. But this is all just a way to try to get at him. Let me explain how this works, Jeremy. If you ignore them, eventually they get bored because you're not giving them more content.
Oh,
they
yeah,
go
absolutely.
away. They go away and they pick on somebody else. Now, I'm not going to defend the Keno Casino. They're absolutely douchebags.
Yeah,
they can be funny.
Their whole shtick.
Yeah, they can be funny douchebags, but it doesn't make them any less of douchebags. They're not criticizing the substance of any arguments. They're just like, you're fat and ugly and stupid, ha, and that's fine.
Yeah, they're a morning radio show.
They're not to be taken seriously. But when you give them the reaction that they want, then they're coming back for more, you dumb motherfucker.
And they've told him this. And he goes after them, and of course they're gonna be like, yay, he responded, dum-dum. And now he has made them like Ben Kenobi. If you try and strike them down, they will become stronger. And that's exactly what happened. They have picked up followers and subs, and they were getting gifted like 200 subs from, I think it was D-Day Cobra, the guy from Geeks and Gamers. And other people were just throwing subs, gift subs at them constantly the other night. They were doing gangbusters on Kick. And now they have a Clips channel on Rumble, and they have a Locals and some other support for the guy whose channel got struck down.
Does anybody remember the midget chick on the bouncing ball? No? But I am curious now.
Yeah, that's a very specific question. that I'm not familiar with.
Jeremy here needs to just stop. And again, tonight, it makes it even worse that he went into the chat and was like, let's talk about it one-on-one. You're keeping it going. You do realize now you've given the Kino boys, unless you're getting a kickback from them, this makes no sense.
No, and you look like a coward. You
Yeah.
look like an absolute coward. Apparently, from what Worski was saying on Twitter, he's pulling his coffee brand coffee out of Amazon.
Oh, is he?
So yeah, because I don't know if you saw Luther Morgan's videos on this. He's investigating the coffee brand coffee, and it looks like they may not be FDA compliant.
Uh-oh.
So he's also trying to trace where the actual production is made, and one of the addresses led to Meta PCs, and the others lead to like virtual mailboxes and basically no place. There's one.
No. Jeremy does it all himself.
Well, unless he's doing it in his basement, or on his private property, it doesn't look like there's actually anything there. Also, if you're doing it at your house, you're still gonna have to get like a health inspection where they come to make sure you don't have like chicken poop everywhere and bugs and stuff.
Bagscans says, I love how Monk has trouble reading chat, but zeroed in the second a midget was mentioned. Hey, I like what I like. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, sometimes you just see things and you're like, wait a minute, what's this?
So a Somali coffee brand.
Yeah.
No, it was found out quite a while ago that his coffee, because he tries to make it sound like, remember, he had to buy that machine, you guys.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually do any of the coffee stuff himself. It's this place basically that you rent their machines, or it's called a black label, and you can just slap your label over he's Temu, basically. It's Temu coffee.
Yeah, it's produced by an actual company. In this case, the company's name is like Mill Creek or something.
Yeah.
That might be a DVD producer. I don't know. It's Mill something. And they're out of like Utah, but it looks like they may have gone out of business. So from what it sounded like, you could order batches of coffee made, and he may have just ordered a really big batch of coffee, and that coffee's like super old now.
Either way, it was dumb. I mean,
Yeah.
Again, at the beginning, I was laying this out, is that he had a sweet gig.
Yeah.
All you had to do was your 10-minute lazy videos, reading an article that you barely respond to, repeat whatever you heard the Comicsgate or the Gamergate people say, slap a ridiculous thumbnail like, you won't believe this shit on it, and call it a day. You were making bank doing that. And now, because you decided you had to have more, you've turned yourself into a fucking joke.
Yeah, he turned lol cow real fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of that I think is ego driven. He can't handle criticism, or he's worried that it's going to hurt his business or whatever.
Look, I've never had to deal with the criticism on the level that he has.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's tons of people like that where I will never know the kind of criticism they get. But just from the criticism I do get, I assure you, if it got to the point where I thought it was going to be negative for me, I'd just fucking ignore it. I would turn off my internet and go play a video game and come back and do my shit, turn it off, go back and play a video game again. These people get all up in their feelings. And for somebody like Jeremy, who has called people gay for flagging, that, back when it was the cool thing to say. I mean, there are videos of him that could be literally directed at him in this situation.
Yeah.
Like just in Bering's.
He was part of.
In Bering's video, he plays one of those clips at the very end of the video. Like, all you have to do is live by your stated convictions, bro. And you can't do that much? Dude. But anyway, what were you saying there, bud?
Well, he was part of the whole Boulder stream with Mundane Matt, so he knows exactly how this could go. Let's not forget that Jeremy also tried to get Medicare taken down at one point.
Well, this is why I don't think drunk has as much to do with it as people are claiming. The difference between this and the Boulder stream is nobody was attacking Matt's wife. And as much as no striking people is a thing on the internet, not attacking people's families is too. And I think this little bitch thought he had it. Oh, they're attacking my family. They'll be on my side this time.
Yeah, but they're really not attacking his family or his
they're not,
wife,
no.
because he's just using that as a pretense. He's my family's under attack, because that's what he's been doing for 10 years. Is whenever he needs to raise some money, he says his channel's under attack, his coffee brand is under attack, MAGA's under attack, and now he's claiming his wife is under attack. The worst they said about her was that she's getting plowed by somebody else, because they have like an open marriage.
The only thing that's getting attacked in here is his pancreas, man.
Yeah.
He's such a bitch, and he keeps doing it to himself. So
yeah,
I have very, very little sympathy for this bitch, and just log off the internet, man.
Yeah. I know we disagree on the alcohol element. I don't think it gives him an excuse. I think that's his coping mechanism. I think he's a very unhappy person that needs to sort some stuff out, but he can't step away from working or being online. Well, and we've seen him say, well, I'm going offline for a day, and he's back a few hours later tweeting up a storm, and then he deletes them all.
Again, though, he could still do his little videos. Come on, make those go away. That's all you got to do. And I know it's hard for him because, like you just described, he's said many times, I'm going to take some time off, and he never does. But he needs to. The fact that he's not committed to it any time ever doesn't change that that's good advice.
Oh, absolutely. He's just got to have the willpower to walk away for a while.
Just
like make some videos and go take a vacation, dude.
You got to be maybe not a multimillionaire because of the way you spend your money, but you've got a lot of shit on your property you could go out and do. You built yourself a giant RC track out there. Go play with your fucking cars, bro.
He has an RC track channel, and he's been uploading shorts that have nothing to fucking do with that. But he could just film his, put a GoPro on your little RV car, and then get a camera set up looking at the track and play.
No, don't do that. The reason I'm saying don't do that is because it just gives him more of something to try to look at that is going to distract him when somebody comes on and calls him a cuck on his RC channel. Do your main videos, don't even look at the comments, and then go do something with your life.
Yeah, that's really solid advice, but he can't do that. He's terminally online, and how many people have we seen fall through this type of stuff over the years? That they get all up in their feelings and their ego, and they can't walk away. They don't understand what it's like to be offline anymore.
I don't know that Jeremy ever has, because I mean, his internet presence actually goes back about 2 decades. He predates YouTube. He had his little tech site that he had, and where he taught people how to take their computers to Circuit City to get them fixed. Hey, if you're taking it in, you got child porn, make sure you hide the child porn, guys. Fucking weirdo.
I think the Claw Machine channel goes back at least 13 years, probably longer.
Yeah.
So he's been around for a while, and unfortunately, that is one of the pitfalls of being in this creator sphere.
But it's not, though, because there are people who've done it. As much as I dislike Phil DeFranco, I'm going to use him as an example again. This is a guy who still goes out and lives his life, and he comes in, he does his little show to get stuff done, and then he goes out and lives his fucking life.
Yeah, but
the problem is the personalities like him, like Jeremy, who's so desperate for fame. Go watch Mikey No More's video. It goes into not this latest one, the one that he did a while ago on Jeremy. This motherfucker has been desperate for fame his whole life.
Well, I think a lot of that comes from his like kind of awkward nerdiness. Like he wants to be a somebody, but he's not the
Yeah.
personality type for it.
But the thing is, you became somebody.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough, was it? It
This is
wasn't
the
the type of fame he wanted. He wants to be Tim Pool.
got to love Monk's Wilson to Jeremy or wisdom to Jeremy. It's not even wisdom, it's simple common sense. Like this is causing a problem. Stop doing that thing. This is not even wisdom. It's literally just shit you learn at 2 years old. If I touch that, it's hot. I probably shouldn't touch that.
Well,
Simple cause and effect.
they anymore people aren't told to moderate what they're doing. Um, and I think he is a product of that environment. He is not capable of walking away on his own. Somebody has to like practically take his phone away, I think. Like his wife needs to turn into his mom and be like, "No, you've had enough internet today. Go outside and play."
Can we agree Jeremy is a narcissist who dug his own grave? I have no issue with that statement.
Yeah, I don't either. He did do all this to himself. I don't know if he's an actual narcissist in the definitional term,
Sure.
maybe in the colloquial term, but in
He's
his
definitely an egomaniacal shitbag.
yeah, I think he has a big ego or he's so insecure that it mimics that because he's so like unsure of himself that he needs constant affirmation and he somehow is filling that void with the attention he gets on from videos, like seeing all these comments. All these people want to talk to me, they want to be my friend, and the people
Well,
that he hires for a show where he has power over them.
you you also have to remember it might seem like everybody hates him, but there are still a ton of people who support him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I saw a lot of
So
them in chat, in Yellow Flash's chat.
so even when he's getting pushback and stuff, he's still getting some love. And for some people, that's enough.
Yeah, it's about validation, and even the fact that like some people are very um they're so desperate for attention that they'll take negative attention. They'll make a clown of
I
themselves just for somebody to look at them. So even if it's negative, they'll take what they get.
Sure. I don't think that's necessarily the case here. I think it is the positive reinforcement that he's still getting because he is
Yeah,
still getting a lot of positive. How dare they attack his wife? This is
yeah.
he did the right thing. No, he didn't. What
I'm
he did
just
was
throwing out
stupid.
the possibility there.
Um, he he's still getting a lot of the affirmation that he wants, the positive affirmation.
Yeah.
And as long as that keeps up, I don't think anything will change.
No, and
Because
also he may be one of those people that entrenches. Like he sees all these people coming at him, and he's like, "I have even more enemies than I thought. I got to double down."
well,
And-
each new enemy is a new video. They're trying to cancel me, which is
yeah,
ironic from him.
yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about this fat fuck anymore. Let's talk about something a little nicer to look at. Here's Shoe on Head's latest video. And we're not watching the whole thing, but I do want to get to a certain part. I wish I knew how far in it was. I really don't. So I just figured, fuck it. I'll watch your video until we get to it. Thank you, Shoe. You can't see it, but I'm smiling at you now. Anyway, this is on the whole Pragmata thing and the incel and all that reaction to it. And I don't know if you saw Abba and Preach's video on this whole situation.
No, I don't. I don't really watch them.
Well, we'll get there when we get there.
Your eggs are drying up. If you're a woman online, you have probably heard that many times. Perhaps this
Well,
image haunts you at night.
In fairness, all women's eggs are drying up at all times because that's how time works. Nobody has ever gotten extra eggs as they got older.
Yeah, they don't get fresher, honey. Everything's got an expiration date.
Yeah. And just saying that in fairness, that it is technically true every time it's said.
Yeah. Also, the clock meme. They hate it for a reason. That's legit. There is a biological clock there.
Yeah, it's very much like when you tell old people, hey, everybody dies. They really don't want to hear that.
Well, no, nobody wants to hear that. Like, oh,
Is it
you're
true
getting close to death? By the way, everybody dies. People don't want to think about that.
fact that women's fertility begins to decline at age 30, and they suddenly wake up and get what we call baby fever? But what about the men? Do their sperms rot? Do their balls shrivel up into little raisins and die? Do they wake up one day and get baby fever? Do men have a biological clock in the same way women do? I've
No.
briefly joked about this in videos before. In fact, a clip of mine from a video I did a few months ago actually went viral recently.
I don't think anything she's saying right now pertains to what I want to talk about, but I'm going to pretend that I have something to add here and say, yeah.
I have to state though that men's balls don't shrivel up; they drop down further.
Yeah, if there's one thing you need to know about growing old as a man, ladies, plug your ears. I'm talking to the gentleman right now. Eventually, your nuts, like ladies' boobies, they just start to sag.
Yeah, gravity takes hold, and
you might look down and be like, "But they're sagging now." You have no idea. They're hanging right now. They graduate to sagging.
yeah, they're more like delightfully suspending as opposed to like when you're 80 and they're trying to join your knees.
Yeah, you're making nut tea in the toilet water in your 80s. That's where the term teabagging really comes from.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway.
To the VTuber Smuggalana.
Ah, yes, the male biological clock. It's not physical, but spiritual.
Men will deny this, but they absolutely have a biological clock. It may not hit in your teens or your 20s.
And to her tweet there, that is true. I do think males, because sometimes it happens for guys when they're still in their teens, raising my hand, and sometimes it happens for guys like when they're 20s or 30s or something. It's just like, I want to be a dad. I want to be a dad. But it's not a part of our biology going, hey, you're running out of time to be a dad.
Yeah.
But one day you're going to have a dream. You have a little daughter making you pancakes with your wife in the morning.
Oh
and
my
you're not
God.
going to be able to get it out of your head.
Oh my
and
God.
and the comments were full of men just.
And to that thing, when your daughter brings you some food that she made herself, and she's this tiny little thing, here, daddy, it doesn't matter how gross it is, you eat it. That's how I accidentally once ate a Dorito that my daughter had licked all of the flavoring off of.
Gross.
She was feeding me potato chips, and it was the cutest little thing, and she reaches up and I open my mouth and she puts it in. I'm like, oh.
I just gagged a little. Ugh.
Yeah. I ate it at that point. What good is spitting it out going to do?
Yeah, you're committed at that point.
Yeah.
Discussing their dreams to start a family. There is not much discussion about men's desire to have children. Like many things, it's not really something they talk about publicly.
Again, we talked about this on the show earlier today. Men do talk about wanting to be dads. Nobody listens.
Yeah,
Ever.
Nobody cares what men think.
We don't do it the way that women do and sit around and have long discussions or make up plans for how the baby's room is going to look, or play with dolls and baby them until we're 14 or however old women are when they stop playing with dolls. But
like 30.
Men express the desire to have kids all the time.
Yeah.
You're just not listening.
Yeah, they just express it in much different ways than women. Women do the nesting thing, and men do I got to earn a lot of money so I can have kids.
Until a certain video game came out.
What are you?
I am DI0336.
For the record, this is I want you to pay attention to the screen for those of you who have not seen this before. This is the image of the little girl, which by the way is an AI android kind of thing, that people are saying is sexualized in this game. I've never seen a bitch in a park and went, ooh, I need that. They're literally just doing it because it's a little girl, and they're like, people want to have sex with it. Like, no, that's just you, homie. You fucking weirdo.
7. A state-of-the-art Pragmata created here at the Cradle. I possess basic life-saving...
How about we call you Diana?
Diana?
Pragmata is a sci-fi action game where you play.
I wish she would have played more of that clip, because at that point she goes, Diana? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, you, Hugh, me, Diana, pointing to herself and him. And she does it several times, and she gets really excited. And one of the criticisms of this that comes later, I don't know if it will make it to that part of Shu's video, is this isn't how kids really are. Kids are really like that. There's so many interactions you have with them where they're making these connections like that. And it's not necessarily about their name, because, by the time they can talk, their name is pretty well known to them. You call their name and they'll look at you. They might not respond, but they know their fucking name. But when it comes to things like, where's your nose? You ever play that game with a kid?
Oh yeah.
My nose. Where's your nose? And I have a mole on my head up by my hairline, and Lady Monkey has a beauty mark, and my one granddaughter's just fascinated by him. So she'll go to Lady Monkey and go, mole. And so Lady Monkey will give her face, and she touches and she'll go, mole. And then she immediately runs to find me, and she's just chanting mole. So I have to lower myself down so she can actually touch it, because kids are really like this. But a whole bunch of fucking childless idiots on the internet are like, that's not how kids really behave. The ones calling everybody else incels.
Yeah, the people that don't have kids and they're in like their 30s, and
Yeah,
like Hassan.
I almost watched Abin Preach's video on this so we could see Hassan's take, because I couldn't be bothered to look up Hassan. Hassan's take on this is just so dog shit bad.
Of course is.
Astronaut Hugh Williams, who is sent to investigate an abandoned moon base. He meets a childlike android named Diana, and they team up to survive and escape the space station. Along the way, they uncover what went wrong and defeat the bad guys, all while forming a strong emotional bond.
I'm counting on you, kiddo.
But it seems to have a...
By the way, when you get your first high five from a little one, it's a magical experience. And then they want 400 more, and you're like, all right, here's a high five.
Yeah. Well, they get all excited by that first one. They're like, yay.
Yeah. Several people who played this game, men and women alike, are like, I'm not crying, you're crying. I haven't played the game. I have no intention of playing the game. But by all accounts, it's just a really well done story that of them growing to be dependent on each other as the, you're killing robots on a space station.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard it was only like 20 or 30 hours long too.
Yeah. I have not looked into this game at all. I've not looked it up to see what it's all exactly about. Everything I know is from clips and stuff that I've seen about it. I've not done a deep dive on the game.
Yeah. People seem to be very, positive about the game itself, not just the storyline, but like the gameplay seems good. The graphics look fine. I haven't heard anybody saying the game sucks.
No, the criticism of the game is all about this little girl, and whether you think people are perverts, or if you're Hassan, you're like, why would anybody want kids? I was a kid once. Look how I turned out.
Yeah,
I
why would
imagine
anyone
you
want
said.
a chubby kid? What?
What if you have a fat kid like me?
Yeah, I bet his parents were like, nobody wants a chubby baby.
All right.
Awakened something deep within gamers, especially male gamers. The urge to get married and have kids. I'm not planning on getting married and having kids, but damn, this game is like fatherhood calling to me. Is this how women feel about their biological clocks? This game makes me want a daughter. What is this feeling inside me? It can't be. It's like, I want to protect. It's like, I want to be a a dad. They won me over. The white baby makes me feel paternal. I will burn anyone and anything that tries to harm her.
Which, by the way, is the feeling you get as a dad of a daughter. Like, I will scorch this fucking earth if you hurt her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This game is dragging out the innate dad instinct. I want to like Pragmata, but I can't, knowing that men are also enjoying it. This is a game for incels. Babe, wake up! It's time for your yearly gamer culture war slap! It's 2014 forever, man. We are never going to escape Mr. Gamergate's wild ride. In this video, we are going to discuss the facts and theories behind the so-called male biological clock, after we discuss the drama surrounding the game Pragmata, and how a bunch of men expressing a—
We're not going to make it to where she talks about the biological clock, because that's way at the end of the video. Just to reiterate from earlier today, there's no actual proof of it, and the studies that show this are all done with old men who fucked old women. And they're like, see, it's both of them. They actually, in the study, if I remember it correctly, like, these are men who are married to 35-year-old women. Yeah, that's as fresh as the eggs can be.
Simple, wholesome desire, the desire to start a family, has turned into yet another culture war. Yet another gender war. The gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, dealing with dating apps, hookup culture. Do men like curvy or thin women?
Yes.
Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean shaven? Oh yeah, that reminds me.
This is where she gets dirty and drops a commercial. Go watch her video so she can get the credit for the whole ad thing there. She's selling a razor with 10-cent razor blades. I did watch your video, Shu. I didn't skip the ad when I watched it, but I'm not playing it on my channel. Go over there, give her a like, and tell her thank you for giving Monkey content.
Around a very specific dynamic. The adult protector and a child. You see it everywhere. In video games, they call it a dad simulator. The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, God of War, Detroit Become Human, BioShock, Life is Strange. Also movies like Logan, True Grit, in a way, Monsters, Inc. Shows like The Mandalorian. Literature has done it forever with The Road, Les Miserables, and many, many others. It shows up time and time again because it taps into something deeply human. The instinct to protect, to guide, to teach, to nurture something more.
But this is what I've talked about so many times with feminism. Feminism teaches people to deny their basic biological instinct. One of the arguments I saw surrounding this, and it's actually why we're talking about this, is this chick from Tim Pool's show. And how she just thinks that this is if you identify with this, you're actually probably predatory. And Tim Pool, I'm not kidding, agreed with her. We'll get there. But women are taught not to have kids. They're taught that having kids is going to destroy your body, is going to ruin your career, and everything is like, hey, kids are bad. Which is weird in a society that fetishizes kids. I'm not saying sexually fetishizes. I'm talking about that we have elevated kids to this, even to the point where some people are like, we should let children vote. They're so smart. Like, no, they're actually dumb little booger pickers. They're cute as hell, and it's wonderful to have kids, but no, they're not smart enough that they should be voting just because you're too stupid to understand, more deep concepts. But the idea that it's much further into the Pool video than I think we're even going. He gets into an argument with a woman, oddly going against what he's saying earlier, where the woman is like, I didn't want kids. Nobody taught me that way. Everybody's trying to indoctrinate me. Bullshit. The indoctrination starts before you were ever born, bitch, because the bitch is like in her 30s. This has been going on for at least half a century, where you have feminists telling women from their earliest age that having babies is going to ruin your life. But no, that didn't have any effect on me. I just always didn't want kids. Okay, sure. You're the one person who didn't fall for the propaganda, but still fell into the same ideology. That makes a lot of sense. Anyhow.
vulnerable than yourself. It is a beautiful and powerful story that has been told for centuries. And you're like really weird and an incel for enjoying it, actually. Incel game. If you buy this game, I'm gonna assume you are a pedophile. I feel like it's a breach of ethics at this point to design child characters for an audience of majority male gamers. Like, let's stop with the defenseless girl the big strong man has to protect. This reeks of sexism and control.
Protecting somebody reeks of control. What the hell is wrong with your brain that you think like that?
Well, Monkey, we have to have these 90-pound girls protect us now. You don't want to be a bigot, do you?
My God.
Hate these father simulator games. They always give me the creeps. This is low genuinely fascist propaganda and gives me pedo vibes. Wouldn't it be cool if I sneezed right now?
That is my favorite joke of the whole video. If you're just listening along, she's holding a pair of scissors to her eyes.
Fascist propaganda. If this is fascist propaganda, slap me and call me Adolf. Zoomer women really look at a wholesome game involving a child and wait, what the f is low genuinely? After hearing
I'm so glad she finally catches up to that. Because does anybody know what you're a English major, Jack. Low continually. What? Any idea?
No. Do you know how to spell it?
Let's go back a second. We'll bring it up on the screen.
Involving a child and wait, what the f is low
Low, L-O-W, Kirk, E-N-U, genuinely without the G. So it's low Kirk genuinely. Made up bullshit. You're probably right. Yeah.
I don't want a video. It's apparently a song.
Low genuinely is a Gen Alpha internet slang term combining low key and genuinely. But that's not how you spell key.
Well, we're not talking about smart people here, dude. You might be overthinking it.
How the fuck did they misspell key Kirk?
Have you met these people?
I appreciate you letting us know what it means.
Yeah.
Goddamn, they're stupid.
The term originated on TikTok in late 2025, early 2026 is a evolution of low-genuinely with the Kirk element often associated with the meme culture surrounding Charlie Kirk.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. We shouldn't have any more kids. We should just stop.
Oh, we should have kids and not raise them in public school. It's a slang term to access humorous, highly emphatic, or ironic version of low-key genuinely. It means the honest or sincere about a feeling, desire, or action without making a big deal out of it.
Okay.
Genuinely. After hearing about toxic masculinity for the past 15 years now, finally a topic comes up where it's overwhelmingly positive masculinity. And what is the response? I think the funniest thing—
No, but see, you missed the point there because we actually hit on it a moment ago with the low-key control. Everything men do is bad. It doesn't matter. We always have some kind of ulterior motive. We only protect you so we can control you. See?
Well, they hang out with male feminists. So
yeah, I mean, this is their thinking. So I get what you're trying to say there about toxic masculinity, but even the most genuine nice thing you can think a man did, we just want to fuck you. That's what it really is. We want to rape you when you're not looking. We pulled you out of that burning building so we could rape you.
Yeah, it's all about the raping. Apparently, there's just a epidemic of raping.
It's all about
maybe
the raping.
In the male feminist circle with chicks that are passed out because it's rape.
I need a country song.
That. Rape.
I need a country song called "It's All About the Raping." She looked like she was enjoying it. I swear that she said yes. But when she pulled away, I ripped off her frilly dress. No, that's not good. Mm-mm.
It's all about
Nope.
the raping. Oh,
Yeah, let's move along. Was I just singing a rape song?
I think you were. But you didn't mention the phrase brown eye once, so I don't think you crossed any lines into tastelessness.
Does the
You
song
kept
Brown Eyed Girl have a new meaning now?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Do you know who Sus Records is?
I don't.
They're one of those AI song channels.
Oh,
And
okay.
all their songs are dirty band channels, but they're in the theme of like an era. So you get like these sexy 1950s sounding ones. Are like band 1950s song. And it's like come on my
Oh,
face. They're
yeah.
really funny sometimes.
Yeah. I think you introduced him to me before.
Oh, probably. I tell people a lot about them. I think they're funny. They've got probably 100 songs on there. Every Saturday they play them like a radio station. It's pretty funny.
Faithless just said Brown Eyed Girl gave me pink eye. If you know, you know. Anyway, back to the show.
Thing about the Pragmata controversy is that those incels genuinely think they could ever get near enough to a woman to impregnate one. It's not nuanced. Pragmata is blatant pedophilia catered to male gooner gamers. Why are
Do you guys remember the picture I showed you of the girl that made you pay attention to? Yep, it's just pedophilia. You know, because there's a little girl and there's a guy, so clearly there's going to be some raping going on.
Yeah, that's what men do. They see someone and they just get boners that can't control themselves. They turn into savages. That's why women should wear veils, right? That's the same
Yes.
logic.
Monkey, like my grandfather used to say, I used to wish I could sing. Now I wish you could. I did sing. Do you need me to do it again? I sang. How dare you?
people thinking this is sexual or makes you a pedophile? Because men are notorious for being peds and disgusting humans. They sexualize everything. You are not very smart. A lot of loser males who often turn to gaming are pedos. It is an unconscious strategy to avoid competing with chat, as well as complementing their own pure attorneyness. Stall development. What? Y'all are full of shit talking about dad instincts and whatever. We know why the f you want to play the game. You want to crack the little blonde bimbo slut.
The little blonde
Wow,
bimbo.
that's-
You see a little girl and you immediately think slut.
That's not the player, that's the speaker. It's a little too visual, you know.
I when I saw that little girl the first time, there was nothing about it that my mind went slut.
And look at that little temptress with her poofy blue jacket.
And since then, I have not seen anything that makes me change my opinion on that.
No,
Anyhow.
because there isn't anything. That's why.
Trans flag. Well, I mean, yeah.
What? This character design creeps me out. Why does she look like a doll? Why is this blonde child?
She's an android, you retard. Why does an android look like a doll? Let's think about that for a little bit, shall we?
Because it's not a person.
Why does the doll look like a doll? Anyway.
With a blowout running around barefoot. I've not yet played the game. Is this expanded on in the plot? Or is this just eye candy for creeps? I feel like I'm going insane. She just looks like a cute bot. Or is
the picture's on the screen right there. What part of that do you think creeps are beaten off to?
I think the person that wrote that post is more likely to be beaten off to this because they're going, oh, Josh is barefoot. Oh,
like,
how dare she run around with her bare little toesies touching the ground. That's
what are you,
weird, man?
Fucking Muslim and be like, oh my God, I can see her ankles. I got a Woody.
Yeah, like I didn't even notice that the kid was barefoot until they just pointed that out. We've been talking about this for like 2 weeks now.
this just eye candy for creeps? I feel like I'm going insane. She just looks like a cute kid to me. Like, that is just literally a cute little kid. I do not see the sexualization, and I am a huge pervert, mind you.
But see, you're a pervert, but you're not a degenerate. That's the difference, Shu.
That's a good point.
Yeah. You can be a pervert and into some really kinky shit, but you're all about doing it with adults. And these people see a little kid and think, slut. Though you're not the same kind of person they are.
I do not see what the f these people are talking about. Are there creepy people on the internet who are sexualizing Diana? Yes, absolutely yes. It is a small minority, but it is still disgusting. In fact, a subreddit had to be shut down because people were making not safe for work art of this child,
Which literally on the internet, they do about everything.
Yeah. What is that, Rule 34?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how wholesome the original thing is. It's like, we got to show them fucking. That doesn't mean everybody who plays the game is that way.
Yeah, there's also people
honestly,
that make Sonic the Hedgehog pregnancy memes. There's some weirdos out there.
Well, clearly we got to take Sonic away because that's just people trying to fuck hedgehogs.
Yeah, that's true.
it's not shocking. It's Reddit. That's not the game's fault. The game has nothing creepy in it.
True.
These creepy people will always exist, unfortunately. I have made several videos about these people existing. People getting mad here are not getting mad at the people sexualizing Diana. That would be completely understandable. It would make
No, they're the one, and it's even worse because they are the ones that are sexualizing her. It's not the people playing the game. The people playing the game are like, I wish I had a daughter. And the people who are, upset about those guys are like, you want to fuck it. You're the one sexualizing this child, not the people you're talking about.
Yeah. It would be, if they were sexualizing this type of content, it would be called a dad simulator. It'd be called a daddy simulator or a stepfather simulator. Let's be honest with our porn analogies.
It'd be called a trans prerequisite.
make sense if they were going to the accounts that were doing that and calling them creeps, but no, they're for some reason just getting mad at people liking and enjoying the game. They're just spurring.
Well, it's the same reason that so many of them were like, oh my God, Sydney Sweeney says she has good genes. Nazi, 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 Nazi. Are you ignoring your Rumble chat? Only as much as I'm ignoring my YouTube chat.
Which is a lot.
Why do you have clickbait about quartering? I don't. The first 35 minutes of the show was about him. That's not clickbait, bro. You're just late.
Out and randomly calling everyone and anyone incels.
Why did they make her look like a porn star, though?
What fucking porn are you watching, bro? I feel like your computer needs checked. If you think she looks like a porn star, she looks like a child. You're watching the wrong kind of porn. What you're watching is called a felony.
Yeah, you're watching an FBI server is what you're watching, buddy. Yeah, degenerate sicko.
Jesus Christ.
Why is the child sexy? Are you okay? These Twitter freaks see a child, immediately sexualize them, and think everyone else is as creepy as they are. Like,
yep.
No, bitch, that's you. And
Yep.
Reddit. You and Reddit. There is nothing in this video game that caters to the freaks except for the fact that Diana is a child. Compare that to Cuties, where there were up closes of real children twerking. That.
And funnily, I don't have proof of this, but I bet you if you did a comparison and looked at how many of the people calling this game pedo bait also defended Cuties, it's probably 99%.
Yeah, well, as we've seen, a lot of the people that bitch about something are some of the biggest degenerates around. So they're probably the ones jerking off to it, be like, oh, you're totally jerking off to it because they're doing it.
Then change the fucking thumbnail because I don't give a fuck about whatever point you're trying to make with this broad. You seem not to care about that.
That is media. That is catering to those people. An article recently came out from the outlet The Gamer that in the beginning talks about what
This shit is hilarious. You haven't watched their video yet, have you?
No, I haven't had
Okay.
time.
I want the ending of the article to be a surprise for you.
happened on the Reddit and how disgusting some people are being towards the character Diana. Okay, fair enough. I agree. But then towards the end, the author throws in something very telling.
I have not yet played Pragmata, and that's because I'm a little tapped out on stories where men adopt daughter-like figures and prove their masculinity by protecting them.
That
What?
Yeah, I haven't played this game because I'm tired of playing games where guys save girls.
I'm gonna write an entire article bitching about this, but I've never actually played it or anything.
Well, the weird thing is they seem to be on the right side. They're pointing out the absurdity of these people that she's been talking about so far. But then they have to throw in the feminist talking point at the end anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's mandatory. It's sort of like saying your Hail Marys and all our fathers at church, right?
Yeah. All right.
That is their real problem. Men protecting people. That's just them proving their masculinity. And as we all know, masculinity bad.
Blatantly not fuel, whether you agree with it or not. The average attraction trope on a little girl, blonde, blue eyes. I mean, the whole game is low-key Nazi propaganda, to be fair.
It's
What?
low key. This if this is what I'm thinking of, there's actually a discussion. So I'll just let it play.
I think the men who play this are probably creepy, but how is it Nazi propaganda? Blonde, blue-eyed toddler and tiaras looking white girl you have to save is literally Nazi propaganda straight out of the 1930s, dude. Sorry, I don't see it. Ugh, I really don't have the energy to deal with this. Just use your brain.
What?
You're saving the little white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. You're a Nazi.
Did we go back to doing a Jeremy segment? Because this is what it feels like when we cover Jeremy.
I don't know. The people who say these things are retarded. So anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw
Sorry,
a
I don't
statement
have
out there, not back it up at all, and then get mad at you for not understanding whatever crazy shit was going on in my noggin.
Well, if you, I didn't even mean to do this, but if you go back to the Sydney Sweeney thing I was just talking about, how was it Nazi propaganda? Blonde hair, blue eyes. That's it. That's what made it Nazi. And she said good genes. If she had had hazel eyes, there would have been no problem, Jack. When what it was really about was women being upset that there was a beautiful woman on the screen.
It's amazing how these dog whistles are only picked.
Keep going.
Well, there's that. It's amazing how the people that pick up on the dog whistles are always the opponent of these things and not the target demographic that's supposed to hear the dog whistle.
Yeah, the dog whistle is only heard by the dogs, and they're the only ones hearing them. Don't know what to tell you guys.
the energy to explain my schizophrenic paranoid delusion. Good. I don't have the energy to listen to it. Listen, I know we're all used to seeing gay, black, Hispanic, disabled furries in media lately, but I promise you, white people still exist. It's not Nazi propaganda.
I feel like this girl character is an objectification of the idealized child. She's pulled right from the patriarchal white supremacist imagination, the perfect pure white girl child that must be protected so she can produce the next white generation.
She's an android.
Yeah, how's that gonna... How does protecting the android propagate the species? Like this, is she one of those incubator wombs that we don't know about, or is that an upgrade you get?
I honestly don't know.
They really are reading into this game quite a bit. Like this kind of is one of those litmus tests for psychology majors. You know, like, oh, so that made you think of the Nazis. That's interesting. And they're writing notes down. Like, what a weird Rorschach test this game is.
What? That's why you have 12 viewers? Well, do me a favor. Go away so I only have 11.
What? Over the thumb, dude. We covered Jeremy already.
It's just somebody who
There's
needs
lots of
attention.
topics.
It happens, you know.
Yeah, it's just don't understand that. Just go back early in the stream if you want to watch that part. It's not that difficult.
I don't know if you saw this, but she printed that out, crumpled it up, and threw it into a trash can, which she labeled "Unsolicited Opinions from Online Prostitutes."
Oh, so that's the Whatever podcast?
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Anyway,
Funny how y'all have paternal instincts for a child with a model woman's face plastered on it, make her look like an actual kid with missing teeth, short hair, bare face, snot, and see if those instincts kick in the same. This game is openly catering to pedos. The gaslighting is over.
wait.
Bare face. The child's not wearing makeup. It's a video game.
And it's an Android.
And it's
Maybe
Android.
The skin just looks different. Maybe, artificial skin looks a certain way. This is weird, man. Aryan Android. Yeah, exactly. Is that him or me? Yo, yo. Oh, it's him? Okay. I was a little concerned that I was stepping all over him. He didn't accidentally mute himself, so I don't know what's going on. Did Data create another child? Oh, man. That episode would have been a lot better if they had a better child actor, but most kids aren't very good actors. When did we cross the line that a kid can't be cute? Apparently, all kids must look like this one pervert specific fetish of like Campbell Soup kids, which, by the way, are some of the creepiest people I've ever seen. They're like Cabbage Patch Kids. Like if you saw that in your attic while you were cleaning, you'd be like, yeah. That could be a lizard boy, and that's fine. Oh, lizard people, 2026 keeps giving. Yeah, we're barely into a third of the year, and this has been a wild one, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, all that. Yeah, give us money. We're poor. I'm all by myself out here, flailing wildly, because he didn't tell me what we're covering today. Chick that played the female Q in TNG's the same chick that played the princess in Conan the Destroyer. Oh, really? Yeah, I think you're right.
Did you?
That chick went on to do some other movie too. I don't remember, something more recently. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show, Monkey.
Yeah, my internet just died. It was not fun. Anyway, back to where we was at. The criticism of the child here is just amazing to me. Like show them with missing teeth. When kids first lose their teeth and stuff and they smile at you, it's adorable.
Also, it looks like they aged the kid down. Like
Yeah.
She's got like the rounder face with the chubbier cheeks. When I first saw the girl that the Android image that you showed, like however long ago that was, I thought the kid was supposed to be like 8. But they're showing a kid on the right that looks more like a toddler, like 2 or 3.
But their point is make the child uglier by making her look real, and the child on the right is cuter than the one on the left.
Yeah, but it's got like the Campbell Soup toddler look. I think that's this person's specific fetish.
But 2 of their other criticisms of what kids actually look like is short hair, which you can let the child's hair grow out, and snot. Wipe the snot away, you moron. Believe it or not, children are not covered in snot 24/7.
Oh, they're like snails. They're just full of snot and all sorts of mucus things that come out of their pores, and that's why they have sticky fingers. No, the people saying shit like that have never been around children.
I am genuinely scared for any children that these people have. Because they hate them.
Yeah.
All right.
Kick in the same. This game is openly catering to pedos. The gaslighting is over.
Wait, I'm trying to follow the logic here. Let me just give myself some brain damage. So we make her look more like a child in order to not cater to pedophiles? Am I following?
I'm a little ashamed of myself that I didn't catch that until she said it. But yeah, their argument is make it look more like a child so pedos won't try to fuck it.
Oh, that's why it sounds like these people are the creepers. Like, oh yeah, you should round her face up a little bit. Give her a missing tooth and maybe a snot bubble. You guys are fucking weird, man.
Oh, good catch there, Shu.
That correctly? Also, the face on the left is like a child 6 to 7 years old, and the one on the right is like a 3-year-old. Diana's a
So
Thank
she
you.
had the same thought you did, yeah.
robot kid. She's not a robot toddler. Also, again, she looks like a kid. Am I going insane? Like, that looks just like a little kid. Do they just want her to look ugly? Is that what this is? They want her to
Yes.
be ugly?
Hey, one of two things is happening there. They just see something pretty and they hate pretty things, or they fuck somebody ugly and made an ugly child and they're jealous.
Yes, I
See,
think
that-
it could be multiple things at once.
My children are beautiful because I had sex with a beautiful person and I'm beautiful myself.
I just got a great idea, Monkey. Somebody needs to do a fan film called Robo Toddler, and it's a kid version of RoboCop, and RoboCop basically reenacts this movie with the Robo Kid, and the Robo Kid has a little gun that comes out of his thigh just like RoboCop does, and they take turns shooting it, and like he trains the kid how to shoot, and it's really just an adorable RoboCop simulator, like a little junior RoboCop. I'd watch that.
No,
Be
that would
funny
be
as
pedo
shit.
bait, man. That would be pedo bait.
That's not pedo bait. That's hilarious.
Anyway.
Like, I need more brain damage. Hold on.
Weeb incel gamers LARPing saying, ooh, I want to be a dad now, because they're manipulative, creepy freaks and like the ooh little girl with the model face, especially the lolicons, obviously. The devs know
What?
the male gamers hate a realistic or ugly child, because that's not what they're playing for. If
I'm sorry. What?
I don't think there's an explanation I can give you where that'll make sense.
Seriously, most of the people talking here are the degenerate perverts.
Well, the fact that they even know God damn it. I don't know why my internet has started to do this right now. I've had no problems all day, and it's like, no, let's be a dick because you're streaming. My apologies, guys.
Oh, I have an answer to this. The ultimate way to deal with this problem. Monkey's internet is under attack.
Yes. I'm under attack, you guys. Notice I was getting shit on Rumble where Jeremy's at. Jeremy's coming after me, you guys.
It's channel's under attack by the woke right. Give money.
no,
That's
the
how that
male
works, right?
gamers hate a
Yeah.
realistic or ugly child, because that's not what they're playing for. If they made her look like a realistic, ugly child, none of them would be saying this.
A realistic ugly child.
Yeah.
You can't have
I
a
do
realistic
think-
cute kid.
Most kids are cute, honestly. Even the ugly ones are cute. You ever seen a kid so ugly they're cute? I have. They're like the pug of children.
I try not to look at ugly babies. Ew.
Tell me I'm wrong. But
I
I
don't
do-
look at ugly babies. Once I've seen they're ugly, I ignore their existence.
It is amazing how many of the people are like, make them look like ugly kids because that's what real kids look like. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's actually surprising to see an ugly child because children have a nice skin. metrically
They-
pleasing
they-
faces. God,
Yeah, they have that
I'm
new
so tired
human
of that happening.
smell.
They do. There's a theory in evolutionary biology that kids are made that they come out cute to keep us from killing them.
Yeah, because they scream and poop all the time. That's
Yeah.
what babies do. They're growing, so they're little attention hogs, and they're smelly and they do stuff.
Well, why are they acting like it's realistic to portray children as ugly and disgusting? Children are not ugly and disgusting. Like, they're cute and adorable. That's what they're known for. Like, yes, she's made to look cute. Yes. That's how you know this game was not made by Western video game developers. That's how you know there was no...
Yeah, that was a point I meant to make, but then the internet cut me off. I do think a lot of this comes from the same kind of people who have inserted ugly women into everything because we can't have pretty women anywhere anymore because pretty women don't really exist, you see. That's
a
just
construct.
Yeah, it's a social construct. All bitches are ugly and you just need to be okay with it. Even to the point where when they're designing characters for video games or for animated movies, they're like, make the bitch ugly. Give her a big, strong jaw like a man. I hate these people. Tarkata, thank you. I'm waiting for the tip to come up so I can read it. Sorry about that. Tarkata, thank you. My kids are cute as hell. What the hell does realistic ugly child even mean? Tell me what you really think of your kids. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm very scared that those people have children because if they are, I'm not expecting that they're having a very good life right now.
Liliths on the dev team here. You guys would lose your shit while playing Bioshock. Actually, Bioshock is a really good example of this design working right. The little sisters are all gross and have gray-green skin. No, you don't understand. Everything around me must be ugly as f*** or I will furiously start masturbating. This all sounds like 2014 discourse because it is 2014 discourse. Please don't let there be Gamergate 2.0. Who's going to be the shoe on head 2.0 to emerge from the Gamergate 2.0?
Wouldn't that make her Boxy 3.0?
Yes.
Okay.
By extrapolation,
If she's
absolutely.
listening now, just, this might sound very vague, but don't. That thing? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Phew. Thanks for talking to me all the time. Ta-da!
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it. It's for you.
Look at that. You wrote your name, too. Not half bad, kiddo.
How do you watch that and be like, I need to beat off?
There's a lot of sick people out there, Monkey.
This robot girl makes me uncomfortable, and the fact that I haven't seen female gamers fawn over her is interesting.
Actually, there are a ton of female gamers who have fawned over her. It just hasn't really been talked about much.
I've seen more clips of her and
Well,
that
they will
man,
do that.
and that is not how kids behave. Something weird is going on here.
The something weird going on here is you, ma'am. You are.
Yeah, little kids never bring you pictures that they drew. Doesn't happen.
Tell me you didn't have a dad without telling me you didn't have a dad.
There are no less than, I think, 8 pictures drawn by little children on my refrigerator at this very moment. I must have drawn them myself. God, these people are so fucking weird.
Obviously.
Are the something weird.
Creepy weird.
Men like the Father Simulator game where you have to protect a small child and shoot up a bunch of robots in space? Suspicious. Also,
For the record, that instinct came out in me playing Far Cry 5 because a grown-ass man got hurt in that game. And I was like, the man who did this will die.
Huh.
The first time I played that, when what's his name, the priest, the black guy in the first town, when John cuts his skin out, I'm like, I'm going to kill that motherfucker. It was really the only place they did really good with making me hate the bad guy. But yeah, that's that protective part coming out. Like, how dare you do that to a friend of mine? It's not a real friend of mine. It's a friend in the game. It's pixels. But apparently the protective nature is creepy. And that really is a talking point in our society these days, that if you have that protective instinct, there's something wrong with you. No, that's how we've survived, jackasses.
What? You're crazy.
I've seen plenty of female gamers falling over this character.
Me. Yeah. Okay. Everything's about humans.
Who would win? Decades of anti-natalist propaganda? One little bean. There were even women cosplaying as her. And when women even expressed how cute they thought Diana was, they're also met with this. Oh my god, Diana is so precious and adorable. I'm gonna love this game. Thanks for telling everyone why you want to play the game, before you make up some other excuse to hide your pedophilia.
What?
Yep. Even women who want to play this game are just pedophiles. A guy said that to her.
Wow.
What? Water guns are the best. I like it just as much as crayons. I like how the sand feels on my toes. I press down and sink in. Children don't act like this. This is how someone who fetishizes fatherhood wants children to behave. To normal people, it's actually deeply off-putting. The best...
Again, that makes it sound like they have experience with children. I don't want that person anywhere around a kid.
Yeah.
Because you're clearly not paying attention to the child, because there is a bit of an exaggeration to it, but that is how children act.
part was all the
This is going to hurt me until we get to the part that I really want to get to for this.
Children to behave. To normal people, it's actually deeply off-putting. The best part was all the actual parents, like, replying to these people like, yeah, no, that is literally how my 5-year-old acts.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. Fetishizing fuck. You mean the human desire to procreate and start a family? Oh, you want to meet a woman and settle down and have a family? Maybe have a house, 2 dogs? You sick fuck. We've reached radioactive levels of incel propaganda. What the f does incel mean anymore? I feel like I ask this in every single video. This tweet got thousands of likes. I feel like I am going insane. Where does the incel part come from? Like, they want men to be open about their emotions, and then men are open about their emotions, and then they're just called Nazis or incels or both. Usually both. It's usually a...
I wish I could say she's wrong about any of that.
Well, tell me how you feel. No, I don't like how you feel. Stop talking.
Men never talk about their feelings. Well, this is how I feel. You fucking degenerate shitbag. And it's not even degenerate shit. It's like, tell me your feelings. I want to be a dad. You fucking weirdo. Yeah, that'll definitely
You pervert.
That'll make me want to open up more to you. Now I am watching her nose. What's wrong with her nose?
package deal. And this tweet came from a man, to make things worse. A grown-ass man saw another grown-ass man speaking about the normal human desire to want a family and want children one day, and called him an incel. Cockroach behavior.
In any case, what is this? Capcom's Pragmata. Wait, did it come out?
I forgot about this part. She rips on Hassan, which is fucking wonderful.
Well, yeah, it's ripping on Hassan. It's always wonderful.
Out already? Pragmata, it's making thousands of people suddenly want to start a family. You play as Hugh, a soldier, stranded on a ruined lunar research station. His job is protecting the childlike android Diana while fighting rogue AI. In one emotional moment, she gives him a crayon drawing of the two of them together as a little family. Even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears. So what's really interesting about this is all of these unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always...
Unfuckable losers he hasn't seen, so he doesn't know if they're fuckable or not, if we're being honest, right? He just knows they're unfuckable because they play video games like he did. You remember playing video games, right? You still claim to now and then when you're trying to get nerd credit.
talk about like starting families and stuff. And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like, if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that you actually enjoy. Right?
So you can't talk about how much you want to be a dad because you're not a dad yet. How dare you talk about wanting to be a dad when you're not one?
I hate to throw a flag on the field here, but did he just justify mass shootings?
Well, kind of, yeah. Because there's a lot of shooting in video games.
Yeah, because he said playing something that you enjoy or that you have experience with.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how he phrased it, but he just sort of said that, if you, okay, whatever.
You know what's funny to me about this is Hassan saying he's never grown up, because most of the people that have gotten any kind of traction from talking about this and how much it felt, they wanted a daughter because of this, are people who've been playing games online for years and years and years, which means they're anywhere from half a decade to a decade older than when they started. And you still like video games, but other things start to take precedent. There was a time when my favorite thing to do was play G.I. Joe with my little action figures. It's not what I'm still doing because I grew the fuck up and my interest changed. And Hassan's like, girls are aki. They got cooties. Did you know that? They got cooties, you guys.
Well, look,
right?
Peter Chubbs here never had to grow up.
True. He didn't.
A lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never have sex with a woman. Why do you care? Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, it's just not something that you're going to experience ever for your life, for the rest of your life, right? This is something that I never understand.
Wow, maybe there's a reason people are yearning to start a family and can't afford to have one and can't seem to find a partner. They feel alienated from their work and atomized from their community. If only there was a political commentator around to speak about all this. Oh well, guess not. First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded and also very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean. Second of all,
well, in fairness, he did work for a company called the Young Turks, so he might have some genocide experience.
Yeah. Well, they didn't commit a genocide. Remember? Denial.
No.
Denial.
But her point there is a very good one. Hassan has no interest in Gaza. He's never been there. He actually didn't go there because they couldn't guarantee his safety, even though he said he was going, and it was dangerous. You shouldn't be talking about any of that shit, bruh. You got no experience with it, bruh.
Also, he's fat.
She probably took him out of context.
Oh, what is this nihilistic horse shit? Yeah, never aspire for anything, never aim for greatness and meaning. This is the dude the media wants us to believe is going to save young men from the alt-right pipeline. Yeah, okay. And I love how he's like, unfuckable losers. Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro. Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable losers could easily go to foreign brothels and pay for sex like you, Hassan. Something weird about him.
I was gonna bring that up.
I love that she did. Shu, bless you.
How old was that German girl?
Yeah, that's the only thing I would add. Ask him how old the German girl was.
Was she blonde and blue-eyed?
Right. Imagine the guy who doesn't like the Jews went to bang a German prostitute, to help the white race. Anyway.
Man who could easily consensually get sex from a woman but chooses to go to a brothel. I don't know. Just saying. Also, 35? No kids? Like, I'm sorry, that just pisses me off. Like, sitting in his ugly ass $600 Gucci sweater. I swear I've never seen this guy in a fucking normal ass t-shirt. Sitting on his high horse, looking down at people for wanting something more out of life. I don't understand how someone could be so mentally mind raped that this is their reaction to such like a simple wholesome concept. Like literally
You're not going to like my answer because of your political leanings, but this is what communism does to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no joke, the entire meaning of life.
And I should expand on that just in case she sees this. It's not just all commies bad. Communism has to devalue everything in order to remember nothing has any meaning. That's why they get rid of religion. It's why the only thing that has meaning is the state. That's it. Everything else is at the will of the state. That nothing else matters. Your own family doesn't matter. The state is all that does.
Yeah, you are dehumanized to the point where you're a literal number most of the time because individuality is shunned.
Yeah, you're a
the
cog.
collective is valued.
You are a cog in the machine. That's it. So imagine there's no heaven. Yeah, exactly. Nihilism, the song. Imagine. Anyway.
Is somehow
I didn't
confusing.
I didn't realize the part that I wanted to get to was so deep in this.
Balls deep.
To Hassan Piker.
Go ahead.
No, I was just making a joke.
Anti-natalist. If I saw a child that looked like that, I'd probably attack it. I felt like hitting her. The right-wing nutjobs seeing this and feeling paternal instincts are just predators. The only instinct I feel as a man right now is self-defense. I want to kill it. Yes, the ones saying they want to protect a kid are the predators, not the ones saying they want to kill it. The only thing I felt while watching this is pure bloodlust for that annoying creature. I hate children so much. Before you come at me, yes, I'm a 35-year-old crazy cat lady and proud of it. Stay mad.
Nobody's mad. They're just sad for you.
Totally her own thinking. It's not the propaganda that's been fed to her since she was born.
Yeah.
She just hates children because she hates children.
First of all, every time you see a little smiley face like that, that's how you know that person is madder than they've ever been in their entire life. Listen.
That's not true. It can also mean that I'm talking to you and I'm old and too lazy to click on the thing to make the smiley face, so I just type it in. Yep.
Obviously, if you simply don't want kids, that's fine. Like, whatever. Not everyone wants kids. Not everyone wants to be a parent. But the societal attitude, the difference between men and women here, how they handle this situation is so, like, fascinating to me.
I'm probably never having kids. I'm probably going to play video games for the rest of my life. I'm probably going to be as hot for as long as I can. And I'm probably going to keep making money. That's probably what's going to happen for the next 40 years until I...
Just for the record, all of these women who pull this, I'm just going to stay hot. I dare you to show yourself without makeup on.
Yeah, and I guarantee you in 10 years or so, plastic surgery will happen. Because that's what they always do. Look at Madonna.
I'm a man, and you can put makeup on me and make me look pretty. It's what makeup's for. It's to disguise yourself. And look, ladies, if you wear makeup, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I'm tired of mid-looking bitches who have a caked on face of makeup talking about how hot they are.
Yeah.
I'm naturally hot. I just look good. I don't have to fake it.
People are just going to keep being mad at me about it. Menopause is going to hit me like a brick wall, but at least I will be in the bag until then. You don't want kids? I'll do it whenever I want. I don't think I'm running out of time.
Absolute delusion. I feel like a lot of men in this situation are like, damn, I wish I had a family. That sucks. Women overcompensate and they pretend to be proud of it, and it just comes...
Yes. Yes. These lonely fucking bitches are like, no, I meant to live my life this way. In fact, I love that my life is this way, as they're sipping their boxed wine, crying to some stupid Hallmark commercial.
Yeah, yeah. I like being alone.
That was Hassan's girlfriend, isn't it? No, she's been fucking another dude. That's confirmed. They were rumored to have been a couple, but they don't seem to be anymore. Or, you know, he's back to letting other people blast his girlfriend. Which that's not me making shit up about Hassan. Hassan is a certified cuck. He has said, I mean, he let other dudes bang his porn star girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was just her going to work. She took a dick, bro. Taking a dick is not just going to work.
Off as really kind of sad. And I guess it's like, as a woman for a long time, it's like, oh, you're too young to have kids. Don't have kids. It will ruin your life and your body and your career. Don't have children. And then all of a sudden you hit a certain age and it's like, your eggs, ma'am.
This is the conversation I was having with Weibo. You can sit there and be the strong, independent female you think you are, but one day them eggs are going to start tapping on you. The chickens are going to try to peck their way out.
Yeah, and it'll happen at an unexpected time. You'll be over at someone's house and their baby will sit there and smile at you, and the next thing you know, you're going, oh.
Yep.
I get it. It's frustrating. I get it. I hid my pregnancy from the internet. Nobody knew I was pregnant. Well, some of you guessed because I was fat as fuck. But anyway, I hid it from the internet. And while I was like 5 months pregnant, I was getting tweets from like groypers and like, TikTok, your eggs are drying up. But this like, fuck you haters, I got my cats. Enough. Stop spreading that attitude. Stop being a crab in a bucket. Like, even if you don't have children, that's fine. You can find other meaning in your life, obviously. But don't encourage that type of mindset. The amount of anti-natalist propaganda young men and young women see nowadays is like insane. But the biggest anti-natalist propaganda has to be like $3,000 rent, $2,000 daycare, and student debt, honestly. Like, if we're being honest. It's just sad because like through all of history, like imagine your ancestors, they've been through like war and famine, and you're just going to end your bloodline because the rent is too high. But it's understandable. They don't feel like they can support a child. They can barely support themselves, especially.
This actually comes up in the Rachel Wilson debate. I think I told you about it, where Brian's like, women aren't having children because of the economy. And she's like, but the shit has been going on for 50 years. It even went on when the economy was blasting. The 90s, the birth rates were down. And it's a beautiful time for the economy in America. You know what leads to lower birth rates? Higher education. Poor people are still cranking out babies. It's rich people who aren't. Yeah. If you take away the poor people having babies, the birth rate is dangerously low. Anyway.
On one income, like how it used to be. Those days are gone. You know, if I was president and I wanted to make America great again, that would be the thing I focus on the most. But no, we have to do another bullshit war in the Middle East. Okay, whatever. We're not going into that. Not in this video.
Lots of strange reactions to this game. Let's clear some things up. Childless men do not have.
This is the whole reason we're here. This tweet that we're about to see. This is Mary Morgan. She works for Tim Pool. Keep that in mind as we read this, or as we hear this.
Strange reactions to this game. Let's clear some things up. Childless men do not have paternal instincts the way childless women have maternal instincts. Men first experience.
She cut off what is said there. She puts in parentheses, we observe this even in the way little girls play versus little boys. Yes, in little boys and little girls, there is a big difference. But as we get older, that difference goes away. One of the coolest things I got to witness myself was my son's reaction to my daughter's daughter, to their niece, and how over there we have a video of my oldest son holding my granddaughter when she's like 1.5 years old. And my youngest son is feeding her as they just stand in the middle of the living room because they thought it was the cutest little thing. They weren't like, oh my God, a baby, get it away from me. Anyway.
Maternal instincts once they have their own children, and typically those maternal instincts are only ever felt for their own children and no one else's.
Except again, uncles, grandfathers, really good friends of people. My best friend, his daughter, I would kill for her. I watched her grow up. She's not my daughter, but we have a very close relationship. She was like one of my own kids, but not, it's only for your own kid. This is from a conservative woman.
Well, they still consume the same propaganda. So
yep. Men are just shitbags. They only care about their own stuff. Adopted fathers, yes. Stepfathers. There's tons of examples of where men put themselves out and feel for children, and they're not actually related to them. And they're like, This conservative woman is like, it's only if they it's their own kid. That's the only time they're really protective. This fucking cunt. She has the nerve, and you can't see it here. In the rest of this tweet, she says if you have this feeling, then you're a predator, you're likely a predator, and that if you're defending this, you're actually feminist. The bitch who's saying this horrible shit about men is calling other people feminist based on it. And this is what Tim Pool goes on his show and says she was right.
Men are not nurturers. Men don't gush over cute kids in
Yes, we
public.
do.
Men don't have baby fever.
Yes, we
If
do.
a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, he's likely a predator.
If you have any feelings for a child that's not your own, you just want to fuck it, said the conservative.
Oh, Stoner with a boner over in Rumble Chat made a good point. The movie 3 Men and a Baby?
Yeah.
From the 80s? Yeah. Fuck off, people. These feminists, even this Morgan chick, they're so brainwashed.
Yes.
How do they not know that protective instincts in men is something evolutionarily that's been around for a very long time?
Because they're morons. But just to prove I'm not lying, here is somebody responded to Morgan and said, you need serious therapy. And here's Timmy Pool talking about that.
Esmond Gold has called Mary Morgan a femcel over her post where she said men who want possession of children not part of their direct lineage are predators. She made this comment about Pragmata, which is a massively popular game right now. Millions sold, dudes love it, and guys really want to be dads. Now, in response to her post, Evan Loves Worf said, you need serious therapy.
Yes, she does. And I cannot think of another time I've ever agreed with Evan. The guy's a shitbag.
Yeah, he's a piece of human debris, but he's not wrong this time.
He's not wrong here.
On r/Asmongold on Reddit, she even made me agree to the worst person on X.
Yep.
It's the worst person on X. Well, dudes are generally just offended by what Mary said. They take it personally. Now,
well, because she called all of us predators, you dumb motherfucker.
Yeah. Beanie Boy and quartering have so much in common.
I realize the estrogen running through your body keeps you from being a man, but most men are just protective in general. You're kind of a little bitch, so you're not, but that's a testosterone problem you need. How are you bald with so little testosterone in your body?
Yeah, that is a good point. Because he does kind of have like the in mid-transition beard, doesn't he?
He does. Anyway.
My response to Mary Morgan was that she was correct in tendency. And for this, because you're not going to get as much, let's just call it algorithmic optimization from saying Mary Morgan as you would for Tim Pool. Like bounding into comics, put Tim Pool employee Mary Morgan. Like, you got to put my name on it, otherwise no one cares. It's so cringe. Anyway.
It's just the way. You are not going to call out using things to get attention, you little bitch.
Well, I mean, I bet you if you go through Tim's titles and stuff, you'd see like CNN's Aaron Burnett.
Yeah.
Yeah, she works for you, dude. If you don't like your name being associated with it, you don't have to work with her.
I generally disagree with Mary's assessment that you're a predator if you're a guy, which is in the criminal sense. And I got to say, a lot of these guys' reaction seems canned, general emotional outburst, which is just kind of funny and ironic in a sense. So
you already said you agree with her, but then when you're having to actually spell it out, you're like, I genuinely disagree with her, but I think you guys are all emotional bitches.
Yeah, he's saying that he's calling everybody emotional, but he's already complained about him being associated with her, and he's making an emotional cheap shot right now.
Oh.
I agree with Mary in tendency. Women are more baby crazy than men, and this is from experience. And
that's her tendency. What the fuck does that mean?
He wants it both ways.
I don't agree with anything she said because what she said is stupid feminist nonsense. But you, being the closeted little feminist that you are, can't help yourself. This is what I'm talking. I have often said it about women, but it's true of a lot of right-wing men too. The feminist ideology is so ingrained, it is so pushed through our entire society, people can't help themselves. Makes sense. Whoops. Anyhow, moving along. Do I want to watch any of this? I kind of do. I kind of want to watch. Will you indulge me in a little Brian Shapiro?
Sure.
I'm going to do it anyway, but I feel like I should ask.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm being polite.
You know I don't give a damn, so.
I need to stop being polite and start getting real.
Wow, there's a cultural reference for the ages, isn't it?
I'm timely with my pop culture references.
Yeah, very, very top of 1993. Good job.
All right, if you guys want to see the absolute best clip of this whole thing, watch the earlier show because I highlight the part where he calls his hat, this is a direct quote, a personal physical attribute.
It's still funny.
He thinks his hat is literally a part of his body. It's a personal physical wardrobe, you bald bitch.
I believe Deadpool said it best. It's a hair system.
It's a hair system, yes. He got so offended at her insulting his dumb little hat. And it's a great moment. But I do want to highlight not his opening statement. We're gonna jump ahead to his after his because his was stupid, as you might expect from him.
Yeah.
And we're gonna watch Rachel's opening statement, followed by his rebuttal. Tarkana, thank you so much for the donation. Hang on, let me get that over here. It's a longer one, so it'll take me way too long to read it off of the alert box. Thank you so much. I knew at 16 that I kids early, so I was young enough to raise them. A problem with men having a family also advocate abortion. Well, true, yeah. I'm one of those people. I mean, always loved babies, even when I was. God damn it, that's pissing me off. Elon, fix your shit.
Okay.
My foster sister came over. Apparently, the internet doesn't want me telling that story tonight.
Do it anyway. Fuck that internet. Your channel's under attack.
Even when I was young, like 10 years old, my foster sister would come over with her kid who was, depending on the actual age range, anywhere. I knew him from when he was first born all the way up until he was about 5. Then we moved away and lost contact and everything. But I would be the one that was always playing with the baby because I've always just found kids fascinating. I think they're funny. I think they are interesting to watch. When they're babies, they're boring as shit. Babies are the most boring things on the planet. All they do is sleep and poop. They eat occasionally too. But once they start to move on their own and stuff, they're the most fascinating creatures to watch. I watch them very much like I watch the it's fascinating to me. And I always knew I wanted kids. Like, men don't have that instinct. Yeah, we do. You're just a dried up old wench and nobody likes you. Nobody wants to inseminate you because you're you.
Yeah, because you're a pain in the ass to be around.
Yeah. So her part of this, I don't know how much of this I missed by jumping ahead like this, but her part of it basically all covers the same thing. So if we miss just a little bit, no big deal.
Fun. So for my opening, the topic of the debate is, has feminism been good for women and children? I'm glad.
Which, by the way, Dickhead did not address at all. Not even a little bit.
Well, why would he want to do that? address her points. I don't know.
Let's talk about the promises.
What was that?
He didn't address her point. Why would he want to do that?
Well, because I mean, it is the topic of the debate. So
he couldn't stay on topic when he was talking to her husband. He's not going to do it here.
And for the record, he doesn't.
Of feminism, what it told women and children it was going to do, how they got suffrage passed, how they got the whole agenda passed. It was supposed to provide women with safety, equality, and happiness. Let's look.
In fairness, the safety part doesn't come up until later in feminism. It's mostly just the equality and, well, that was the original selling point, is just equality, which it was never about equality.
Look at the last 100 years and see if feminism has delivered on any of those promises to women and kids.
Now, for the record, during the opening statement, they're not supposed to talk over each other. In the rebuttal, they're not supposed to talk over each other. Rachel didn't say anything while he was speaking. And I don't know if you're watching the screen, but he is sitting here mouthing to himself because he can't fucking shut his mouth. We saw this yesterday.
Very poor impulse control.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday on the Andrew Wilson debate, where every time Andrew would start to speak, this dumb motherfucker, even to the point where he's like, I didn't say that, after he just said something literally a minute later or earlier. But Andrew was saying it, so he had to cut in and say, "Nuh-uh." He's such a douche.
It's very passive aggressive.
Yeah.
So after no-fault divorce became kind of the law of the land starting in the 60s and spread across the country, we changed all of society. Prior to 1950, there were only about 2% of kids living with single parents in a single parent home.
Yep.
Now that number is over 40%.
No damage there, Jack. An increase of 38% of kids living in single parent homes. Now, what could go wrong, man? What could go wrong? And to the look, we do know there's cases where it can't be avoided, right? There are some cases of abuse. There are instances where a spouse dies. But the overwhelming majority of it is because they just decide to get divorced, because they want to go live their life in some other way. The Hollywood portion of this is like, no, it's because one of them was a drug addict, or one of them beat the other, or there was a lot of cheating. No, that's usually not what it is. It's just, I've fallen out of love. That's because you weren't in love, you douche. We've made marriage such a joke.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, women were allowed to leave abusive and dangerous marriages prior to no fault. No fault divorce didn't mean no divorce. It just meant you have to have a reason. So in the year 1900 alone, there were over 55,700 divorces granted to women for reasons like abuse or abandonment.
In 1900, 55,000, but we needed no fault so they could get away from their abusive husbands. You know, and that's with a major population increase. True. So it's not like it was there was 100,000, it was 3%, and now it's 100,000 at 40%. No, we have a lot more kids around these days.
Now you can just get one because you're not feeling it anymore. So what we have is broken homes, and the effects of broken homes on kids are extremely well explained in the data across all the data sets, and they're very consistent over time. So after this big wave of divorce in the 80s and all these newly single parent homes, children experienced a lot of destabilization in their lives, which put them at risk for everything you can think of. From, let's take a look at this. Fatherless homes account for children. 90% of kids who are homeless come from a fatherless home. 85% with behavioral disorders. 75% of kids in substance abuse treatment centers. 88% of kids who are committed to psych wards come from broken homes.
How many want to have a kid and then not be with their other parent knowing all of this? that you're increasing the chance that they're going to end up in a mental institution or jail. Don't talk about the facts though, because she wasn't feeling it, man. She thought she could trade up. She was a caller to Kevin Samuels, man.
Yeah.
The South Park joke still holds when Randy and his wife got divorced, and what is her name? What's the mom's name on South Park? Stan's mom, Sharon. She's talking to Stan, and she says, "Your happiness is the most important thing to me." And he goes, "Well, then stay with Dad." And she goes, "You have to understand, when I say your happiness is the most important to me, I mean my happiness is the most important to me, and what comes first." Because in a lot of these cases, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about somebody who left because of physical abuse or any nonsense like that. The overwhelming, just like the whole abortion thing, where they always talk about rape and incest because they're obsessed with those things. The actual number that is part of it is very low, very low. But they got to make it the worst thing ever so they can justify it. I'm going to ruin my kid's life because some women are abused. I'm not, but you know, I really wish I could get more dick.
If you look at abuse of all kinds, all the data sets show that kids who are living with a single mom and their partner are at the highest risk, more than 10 times more risk than children who are living with both married biological parents.
Notice she said living with a partner, because then there are two people living in there. You're more likely, the kid's more likely to get abused if they're not with their biological parents.
Yeah.
But you know, you got to do this because women who stay in abusive relationships, the kids have to suffer in that. But it's not real.
Also for women, domestic violence didn't go away because of no-fault divorce. It shifted to cohabitative relationships. So the domestic violence rate dropped for married couples, but it skyrocketed for cohabitating couples.
That just proves that the bitch needed hit.
Yeah.
You should not agree with that. You should be going monkey.
No, she needed that ass tapped, right?
She needed an attitude adjustment. Maybe what it proves is that in those cases, those people just make really bad decisions about who they're living with.
Yeah, maybe don't just jump into a long-term relationship or make babies with people that you don't know very well. Huh. Yeah, that's a weird idea.
You know, there's a lot of talk about serial abusers, but not a lot of talk about serial victims.
Yeah.
But the truth is, and I'm sorry if you're one of these people, but some people just don't know how to pay attention to warning signs.
Or do the dishes. Oh.
They fucked up the spaghetti again. I remember very clearly in high school, I had a friend who went to another high school, and her best friend was with this guy that treated her like absolute shit. Publicly treated her like garbage. You know why she said she stayed with him? He's nice to me when we're alone. Like, because you're letting him fuck you. The rest of the time, he treats you like absolute trash. Oddly enough, they did get married, and she left him for abuse.
Oh,
I know that's
shocked.
weird. Yeah. Weird. Finally, Monkey says something I can or we can all agree with. Yes. You wouldn't know her. She went to another school. No, my friend that went to another school, she was dating my brother when he died. They met at a Arby's that they both worked at. She went to Bayside High School, and we went to a different one in Virginia. At the time, there were 5 high schools in Virginia Beach. I think they're up to 9 now, something like that.
Ugh.
40% higher risk of getting abused by your boyfriend than you are your husband if you live with your boyfriend. So much for safety, I guess. What about equality? Will men still do all the dirty, dangerous, difficult jobs? 92% of all.
Well, Rachel, what they meant by equality is they wanted all the cushy jobs with Park Avenue view, and not any of the, you know, cleaning out sewer pipes.
Yeah, they want the Barbie jobs, not the micro jobs.
Yeah. How come there's never been a big push for that? Like, you never see them going, excuse me, how come there aren't enough women cleaning sewer drains? Why is that? Why are women so underrepresented in sewer drains?
Yeah, why won't women do men's work?
Yeah.
If they want a true equality.
And extra air conditioning. No, Faithless. You have that backwards. Remember, they wanted to get rid of air conditioning because it was sexist, because men wear suit jackets to work and wanted it a little bit cooler, and women were wearing skirts and stuff. And so they needed to make those conditions good for women, because that's all that matters. You know, equality.
Work deaths are men. 90% of all infrastructure jobs.
We're going to jump through Rachel
left
because
first on a
basically she's just laying out all of these horrible things that happen with single parenthood, right? And it's all because of the lies of feminism. We're going to give you the world. We're going to give you the fucking world. And here's how it's actually turned out. This is his rebuttal to that.
It is normally not my business.
Oh, wait, we got to go back just a second. Hang on.
Thank you very much for that 5-minute opening as well.
What?
We'll jump into the rebuttals. These are 5 minutes as well.
That doesn't
Ryan, I've got
make
the
any
timer
sense.
set for you. The floor is all yours.
The word would be hypocrisy. Rachel just talked about abuse, divorce. I want to be very clear with what I'm about to say. It is normally not my business to talk about how many children you have, how many ex-husbands you have. But when you have somebody to my left who wants to tell other women how to live their lives, I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to bring up some studies.
I do want to point out 2 things. One, homie, you were on your own show 4 days before this doing the same thing you're doing now, going after her for her personal life. So this is something I wouldn't normally do. Like, what? I mean, maybe he. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Maybe he's saying that women should ever pass along knowledge. Like, don't make the mistakes I made, or is not allowed anymore.
I was thinking the only way that it makes sense is if he's talking in an overall time metric, where like he's awake 24 hours a day, but the only time he actually attacks this woman for her personal life is when he's doing a debate or talking about her for some reason. So in the grand scheme of things, he's not normally doing. It's not like he's walking around his own house going, that fucking whore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But otherwise, in a debate setting, this is absolutely what you would always do, you dick.
Are progressives supposed to be more tolerant and accepting? And here he is shaming her.
Well, that kind of gets to the other point. He says repeatedly through this that he wants people to just live their own lives. I don't want to tell you how to live your own life, but just go live your own life. Telling somebody to live their own life is telling them what to do, you dumb motherfucker. You don't recognize it as that because you think you're being like, go do whatever you want. Well, you can't tell them to do whatever they want without telling them what to do. He's like, she's trying to tell people what to do, and you should live how I tell you to, however you want to. You should have no morals. Just go fuck off. Do whatever you want. That is still telling people how to live their life, you moron. It's the same thing with the people who say, you shouldn't judge. Can't say that without judging. Duh.
How dare you judge me for judging?
She wants to tell women how to live their lives. No, like Jack said, she wants to pass on her experience. I've never heard Rachel say, hey, get in a marriage with an abusive guy who's eventually going to leave you. I haven't watched all of what Rachel says, but she's never even come close to something like that.
Yeah, look, we've criticized both the Wilsons several times on here, but honestly, I've never heard her say emulate my life.
Yeah. The reality nobody likes to talk about is wisdom comes from making mistakes.
Yeah.
It does. And it is the arrogance of youth that keeps us from learning from our elders and the mistakes that they made. There's something innate in us that's like, no, it'll be different for me. I'm gonna put my dick in that fan. It's not gonna hurt. But he calls it hypocrisy. I don't think the guy knows what the word hypocrisy really means.
No, I don't think he does. Plus, he's just being a dick. Like, there's no reason to bring up her past. Why are you making it personal?
Because he thinks taking a cheap shot at her will win him points. Anyway, that's not actually the part of this I wanted to highlight. I just found it funny as shit.
Now, Rachel has 3 baby daddies. Why is that important?
It's not.
Well, Guzzo and Firstberg's study says that if you do have multiple baby daddies, family has higher stress, more likely to have more mental health issues. The things that you claim that you care so much about, I do.
Do you see what he's already started to do?
Yeah.
He's making her point for her. But because he's trying to take a cheap shot at her, he doesn't realize that's what he's doing.
He's so not smart.
He's a moron. How did he get a radio show?
I don't know. Also, guys, if you're in a semi-professional debate setting where you're like at podiums, try not to use the phrase baby daddies. It makes you sound like trash. Okay?
Well, he says it that way purposefully to make her sound like trash, because that's
he's trying to dehumanize her and make her sound like white trash.
Yep.
But it just makes you look smug and uneducated because you can't say she has multiple fathers, or it's a linguistic issue and a game at the same time. And it's really annoying, and it's really lazy on his part.
Wow.
Well, I just love that he tries to come off as though, look, if you say baby daddies, I don't care, honestly. But he started this by like, I wouldn't normally do this. That fucking whore.
He's trying to act like an intellectual, but he's using like trailer park linguistics at the same time, and it doesn't mesh. You're just creating like a bad impression on the audience for you. They're like, oh, he's just kind of trashy, and he's taking a cheap shot.
Yeah.
The Dorius study, lower income and families most likely in children have a lower education rate. The Rutgers study, you just talked about physical violence. The Rutgers study, which, by the way, these studies have just come out in the last couple of years. You can
Okay.
Case.
What?
Like I say this is where he pulled a Hunter Avalon, where he read these studies but not enough to understand them, and he's now making her case for her. The studies actually back her up, not him.
Of course they do.
look it up if you would like on your phone. By the way, you want to go back to 50 years or 100 years ago, then why do you use a cell phone? I'm just curious. Why do you use this?
There is a part in this. Yeah. If you want to go back to how families were.
Yeah, you just have to adopt their entire lifestyle.
50 years ago? Yourself. Oh my God. This is getting annoying. Anyway, yeah, this is the fallacy that they like to run with anytime they're trying to, like, you think we should have stronger family unions? Then why aren't you using an old washing board? Why aren't you churning your own butter?
Well, I calculated the expense on my abacus to find those retro items, and it was too expensive.
For the record, at one point in this debate, he also says that slavery was around 50 or 100 years ago in the United States.
What?
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. He says those words.
Wow.
By the way, 100 years ago, we were at the end of the Roaring 20s, and slavery had been over for 60 years.
Look, your hate facts have no place here. There's nothing like flappers whooping their slaves.
Oh, fuck.
laugh, but if you want to go back to the way things were 50 or 100 years ago, we were a slavery nation. Are we still a slavery nation now? Do you want to go back to slavery?
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Wait. I didn't realize that this is where it was. Hang on.
Look
By
at
the
her
way, you want
face.
to go back to 50 years or 100 years ago, then why do you use a cell phone? I'm just curious. Why do you use a cell phone? You can laugh, but if you want to go back to the way things were 50 or 100 years ago, we were a slavery nation. Are we still a slavery nation now? Do you want to
50
What
or
the fuck
100?
did you just say? I'm sorry. Who was calling me trash? Yes, I'm the uneducated trash here, sir. You are correct. Fucking hell.
That's all I'm going to watch of this. It makes the point where that he's making her point when he does talk about the actual statistics, and it makes the point that he's a fucking idiot because he thinks slavery was still around 100 years ago. That's giving him the benefit of the doubt. If we go with his 50 years, that's the 1970s.
Yes, it's well known, the slave auctions of the 70s.
I don't understand how people this dumb end up with an audience. Look, guys, there's people I disagree with who have an audience, and I at least get it because they might be smart on something or they're very entertaining. He's not entertaining at all. And he's a fucking retard. How does somebody like that gain an audience? And it really makes me want to become a con man, Jack.
Yeah, right?
Because it would be so, if people fall for this nonsense, it would be so easy to just con them out of their money. Like, I literally am selling bridges. Give me money. I want to close talking about the red blue thing just for a moment. Just for a moment. I want to discuss a part of the conversation I had with Birdman because I made him an offer. I made him an offer where we can make this a real world thing. Now, he's very adamant that he would give his life, if necessary, to try to do the right thing here in this hypothetical that'll never be real. And I'm a bad person if I wouldn't agree with him. If I do the smart thing and go, no, I'm pushing the red button because that's intelligent. So I made him an offer. So I tell you what, everybody who sees this post needs to send me $100. And you've seen this post, so send me $100. Now, if 50% of the people who see this post send me money, I will give you your money back. If not, I get to keep it all. He wouldn't take that deal, Jack. Now, I'm supposed to believe the guy who won't save other people from giving me $100 when I'm clearly just trying to steal from them is going to lay his life on the line for people. And I came up with this experiment because I saw somebody else mention, all of these people who are virtue signaling on the, I would totally hit the blue button so I could save all the dummies. You don't have to do anything to prove that. You can just say it. And in reality, we know damn good and well you're going to hit the red button because you're a selfish little shitbag. And I don't mean that necessarily negative, maybe the shitbag part of it. But the selfish part of it, it just makes sense to not die. Especially for strangers you've never met. And let's be honest, some of whom would kill you if they could. So you're going to lay down, you won't give me $100 to prove that you actually believe that. You're a liar, sir. And your bullshit, nonsense, self-righteous crap means nothing. It means nothing. So even if it wasn't a dumbass question in the first place and you weren't making the wrong decision, you don't mean it. It's just a way to be like, I would be the good guy. No, you wouldn't. You're a shitbag and a liar, which makes you double shitbag. That's all I wanted to say, Jack.
No, that's fair.
Anyway, that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are so kind. Jack, anything you want to show?
No, my channel links are in the description. Thank you guys for coming out and watching the show and supporting us. We really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
No long outro. I've been talking way too much for the last 24 hours. So, Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Take care of yourselves, guys, and we will see you on the next one. Love you. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I can't claim it's not this show because it is, and now I gotta fucking sing. Damn it.